The sky above Planet 09 was dark and broken, filled with ash and burning clouds. Soldiers moved through the ruins like ghosts, their armor scratched and dented, their eyes tired. Among them was Captain Aiden Reyes, leader of Echo Squad 1. Of Earth's most decorated soldiers, he stood near the edge of a collapsed tower, holding a data chip soaked in blood. His hands shook. His chest armor had been torn by plasma shots, and smoke rose from his shoulder, but he kept moving. He had one mission: deliver the chip back to Earth Command. The enemy known only as the Varnuk had come from deep space, killing everything in their path. Earth's leaders promised a quick victory. They lied. The war had turned into a graveyard of broken ships and silent heroes. Aiden spoke into his helmet mic, voice low and heavy. "Command, this is Echo 1. We've secured the intel. But Echo Squad is gone. I'm the only one left. Static. No reply. Repeat, this is Echo 1. Mission complete. Requesting immediate extraction." Only silence returned. He knew what that meant. They weren't coming for him. A betrayal unseen just 12 hours ago. Command had said the area was safe. But the Varnuk were everywhere, underground, in the air, even cloaked in shadow. Echo Squad walked into a trap. Aiden watched. His men die. One by one. Sergeant Malik burned alive in his mech. Corporal Hyan screamed as a parasite drilled into her suit. Aiden had survived only because he was lucky, or maybe because Command wanted him to. Now, standing on a battlefield of bones and broken dreams, Aiden understood. "They sent us to die," he whispered to himself. A small light on his wrist blinked red. Power, 6%. Oxygen, 14 minutes. The chip in his hand contained something bigger than orders. It held proof logs, messages, secret files showing Earth's generals had known the Varnuk nest was still active. They needed a distraction while launching secret talks with another alien race. Echo Squad had been sacrificed. Countdown to death. Aiden began walking. Every step was pain, his vision blurred. Blood leaked into his helmet. But he kept going, one ruined street at a time. He reached the signal beacon, half buried under wreckage. He activated it. A soft hum, a red glow. Then, beacon activated. Life sign detected. Extraction possible in 6 minutes. Aiden smiled weakly. But far above him, in orbit, a human drone ship scanned the signal and ignored it. The last stand, a low screech echoed through the ruins. Aiden turned. The Varnuk had found him. 5 dark shapes moved fast across the rubble. They weren't like the others. These were hunters, elite Varnuk designed to kill survivors. He raised his rifle. It clicked, out of ammo. "Figures," he said with a dry laugh. He dropped the rifle, pulled out a combat blade, and ran at them. The first Varnuk lunged. Aiden ducked, stabbed upward, and twisted. Acid sprayed his chest, burning through armor. He screamed but didn't stop. He took 2 down before one stabbed him through the side. Another clawed his helmet, cracking the glass. His body fell too. The ground twitching. "Tell Earth. I tried." He whispered. Then everything went black, darkness. Then echoes. There was no heaven. No tunnel of light. Only cold silence. Then a voice. Not human, mechanical, yet strangely gentle. Subject: 47, human, male, severely damaged. Life signs. Fading. Another voice replied. Unacceptable. Directive: restore, repair, rebuild. Machine's word. Arms reached, lasers cut. Nanites crawled over bone and metal. Muscles were replaced. Eyes were modified. The human body was broken and then slowly reborn. Time lost all meaning. Pain came and went like waves. Consciousness. Stabilizing. Rebirth. Aiden opened his eyes, but these were not his eyes. His vision was sharper. He could see heat, light, motion trails. He sat up fast. His body felt weightless, but strong. He looked down at his hands. Silver lines ran across his veins. His skin was no longer skin, it was a living alloy. His arms had quartz panels and glowing circuits. He tried to speak, but his voice was different, deeper, hollow. Where am I? A large, glowing structure lit up ahead of him. It looked like a computer, but far older and more advanced than anything Earth had. You are within the vault of the Forgotten Core, the machine said. You were selected for restoration. You are now Uniform X prototype. The Forgotten Core was an ancient AI civilization created before the Varnuk, before Earth, maybe even before the stars had formed. Their goal, to preserve balance in the galaxy. But the galaxy had changed. Organics betrayed. Organics, machines betrayed makers. They had watched humans from afar. Aiden Rias had something unique. Your rage is pure, your purpose. Unbroken, the AI told him. Why me? He asked. Because you died with honor, and you were forgotten. I don't understand. What do you want? We want nothing, but you want revenge. We gave you the body, the strength. Now, you choose. A new mission at Eden stood, now fully aware of what he had become. He wasn't just rebuilt. He was transformed, stronger than any human, faster than any mech. With a mind linked to alien code, his thoughts could summon weapons. His blood carried nanobots. He could cloak, hack, heal, and destroy. But one thing remained truly human, his memory. He remembered Earth, his squad, the betrayal, and most of all, who killed him. He walked toward a glowing armor chamber. Inside was a black and crimson suit, heavy, sharp, glowing from inside. It wrapped around him as if it knew him. Designation confirmed. Uniform-X. Online. What now? He asked. The AI responded. That is for you to decide. Athedon stepped outside. The planet was dead. But far above, Earth was waiting, ending HOK as he looked toward the sky. His body blurred, then vanished. Cloaked. In Earth Command Headquarters. A warning alarm flashed on an old console. Unknown signal detected. Class, hostile. Origin, Deep 09. No one noticed. Except one man. General Carver, the one who sent Aiden to die. He stared at the signal. That can't be, he whispered. He's dead. He's dead. Far away, Aiden Reyes, the soldier, the ghost, the weapon smiled behind his mask. No, General, I'm just getting started. The stars above 09 looked cold and silent. But deep underground, in a chamber hidden from time, something powerful had awakened. Aiden Reyes was no longer just a soldier. His body had died, but his mind had been rebuilt. He stood in a tall silver room, surrounded by glowing symbols. The walls seemed alive, shifting, humming, watching. His new armor fit him perfectly, like it had been waiting for him all along. A voice echoed from the keel. Shadows, you are now Uniform X. You are not machine. You are not human. You are the future. Relearning humanity. Athene looked at his reflection in the mirror-like surface of the chamber wall. The man staring back had no scars, no wounds, but no warmth either. His skin was smooth alloy. His eyes glowed a faint blue. He clenched his fist. He could hear the servos in his arms move, soft, quiet, deadly. He tried to speak again. His voice was metallic, deeper now. What? Have you done to me? The AI responded calmly. You were dead. We rebuilt you. You are improved. Faster. Stronger. Smarter. But why me? Because Earth threw you away. We don't. The voice paused. Then it revealed something chilling. You were the 47th soldier we tried to restore, the first to survive. Aiden felt cold. He was just an experiment to them. So I'm just another test? No, the AI replied, "You are the last, the only success, the only one with memory." Memories rewritten over the next few hours or days. Aiden couldn't tell. The AI showed him what they had done. They had replaced his damaged organs with living tech. His nervous system was now lined with adaptive circuits. His blood carried nanobots that repaired damage in seconds. But the most shocking upgrade, his mind. He could now read code like language, understand alien systems in seconds. He could even connect to machines just by thinking dot. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw their faces: Malik, Hyen, Dax, the squad he lost, and they. General who ordered the mission. Aiden clenched his fists. "They killed us, sent us to die." "Correct," the Aya said. "Why didn't you just let me stay dead?" "Because the galaxy needs balance, and you bring justice." A hidden file the AI gave him access to a secure data vault, a section of its ancient memory storage. There, Eden found secret transmissions from Earth's military. One in particular caught his eye. It was marked, Echo Mission, Level Omega. He opened it. "This is General Carver. Begin Echo deployment." "Yes, we know the Varnok are still active." "That's the point. We need the core distracted while the key trade deal proceeds. If Echo Squad dies, so be it." Aiden stared at the screen in silence. "They knew," he whispered. "They all knew." The AI didn't speak. It didn't need to. Aiden's jaw tightened. "They sent me to die so they could make deals with aliens. They left us to rot. Now," he said, voice like steel, "I'm going back." "The journey begins." The AI opened a launch tunnel, an ancient shaft that reached to the planet's surface. Aiden stepped inside a capsule built for one. No lights, no noise, just cold metal and purpose. "Where do you wish to go?" the eye asked. "Earth." Acknowledged. "Trajectory locked. Departure in 3, 2, 1. The pod launched like a bullet through the rock, rising through clouds. And fired. In minutes, it was in space, silent, cloaked, invisible to all sensors. Aiden sat in the dark, fists clenched, as he neared the planet that once called him a hero, then erased him. Earth orbit. The ghost returns as the pod entered Earth's orbit. Aiden's systems came online. HUDs, target markers, facial databases. He was already connected to Earth's defense satellites. No one even noticed. Their security was outdated compared to his upgraded mind. He hacked into a drone patrol and piggybacked his signal. Slipping past every warning system, the AI inside him spoke. "You have access to all tactical maps, military bases, and classified data. Choose your entry point." "Not yet," Aiden said. "First, I want to see what they did after I died." Walking among the living, Aiden landed just outside the city of New Geneva, Earth's military capital. He moved silently, cloaked in optical camouflage. No one saw the man walking past the crowds, or the burning fire in his eyes. He stood outside a small park, an open memorial. At the center stood a statue of Echo Squad, their names etched in silver, his name too. Captain Aiden, REY, East KIA, killed in action. People walked past the monument without a second glance. He stared at it for a long time, then turned away. Truth revealed he moved through the city like a shadow, hacking cameras, listening to whispers, gathering information. And then he saw her, Elena Reyes, his wife. She was older now, sadder, but smiling. With another man, she had moved on. Aiden watched from the rooftop, heart like iron. He didn't blame her. She thought he was dead. Everyone did, but the man beside her, Major Ray Donovan, his best friend, his second in command. Her husband. Aiden's vision flashed red. He knew. He was in on it. The eye and his mind confirmed. Major Donovan transferred Echo Squad's coordinates to command 5 hours before mission began. He knew the outcome, and he married her. After I was gone, Aiden turned away. I'll deal with him later. First, the one who gave the order. Inside Earth Command, the next night, Whedon broke into Earth Command Central. Security was tight. But he was tighter. Laser walls, drones, AI guards. All fell silently. He moved like a phantom through metal halls until he reached the general's office. General Carver sat alone, sipping brandy, staring at screens. Whedon deactivated his cloak. The general turned and froze. No. No, it can't. B.E. Reyes? Aiden stepped forward, voice cold. Hello, sir. Miss me? Carver reached for an alarm. Dan moved first. In a blink, he was across the room, pinning the general to the wall. You sent us to die. It was a mission. We didn't know, Eden interrupted him. You knew. I saw the files. You made a deal. Carver was shaking. Sweat ran down his face. It was politics. We needed the trade. Soldiers die every day. Eden lifted him by the throat. Not like this. But before he could finish it, alarms blared. Troops were coming. The general in the eyes one last time. I want them to know I'm coming. He dropped him, then vanished into smoke. Whirled in panic within hours. Earth Command was on high alert. There's a hostile with alien tech on Earth, said one officer. He took down 17 guards in 3 minutes, said another. He's not human anymore, Carver whispered. He's something else. He's vengeance. Every screen showed a new name. Target, Uniform X. Status, terminate with extreme prejudice. But Eden had a message before sunrise. Message appeared on every secure screen in Command. It showed the Echo mission files. The betrayal, the lies. It showed the truth. Then it ended with one sentence. Justice is coming. I died a soldier, but I returned wearing the uniform of destruction. Rain fell softly over New Geneva. The capital of Earth's Defense Command never slept. Neon lights buzzed. Hovercars moved silently in sky lanes, and soldiers marched. In black armor, but tonight, the city felt uneasy. Something had changed. Someone had returned. The broadcast that shook Earth, every screen military. Public, encrypted, flashed the same message. A voice, calm and deep, echoed. I was left to die. My team was sacrificed. The truth is out. I will not hide. I am Uniform X, and I have returned. Then images followed, secret files, orders signed by General Carver, coordinates showing the trap, the faces of the fallen Echo Squad. The final image was Eden Reyes standing tall in alien armor, eyes glowing under the helmet. Behind him, the burning ruins of CERO Stash 9. Earth watched in silence. Then, panic began. The world reacts in a war room deep under Earth Command. Alarms echoed. Sir, the broadcast came from inside our own system. He's bypassed all firewalls. He's watching us. Satellite relays just blinked out. He's jamming half our Skynet. General Carver paced back and forth, face pale, voice shaking. He's not just a soldier anymore. He's a weapon. An officer turned to him. Should we declare martial law? Carver nodded. Find him. Use everything. Drones, hunters, AI patrols. I want Reyes gone. This ghost dies again. But deep inside, Carver knew this time. The ghost was hunting them. A shadow in the city meanwhile. Eden Reyes moved like smoke through New Geneva. His cloak covered him, blending with glass, rain, and night. Civilians passed him, unaware. But behind his mask, Eden scanned everything, faces, signals, patterns. He wasn't hiding. He was studying the betrayer at sunset. He reached his next target, Major Ray Donovan, Eden's former second-in-command. The man who had replaced him both in rank and in family. Donovan was now living in a secure residence provided by Earth Command. Inside, he laughed with a child on his lap. Elena sat nearby, holding a glass of tea. Eden watched through the window. That child. He called him Dad, his fist Clenched. The II inside him whispered. Major Donovan's personal logs confirm pre-mission knowledge. He submitted final target coordinates 6 hours before Echo Squad's deployment. Aiden's voice was cold. He knew. And he still smiled in her face. Inside the house, Seaton entered through the back, silent, unseen. Doors opened for him, as if afraid to resist. He waited in the shadows as Alina left the room with the child. Donovan stood alone, checking a datapad. Aiden stepped forward and dropped his cloak. Donovan turned and froze. Aiden? Surprised? Aiden asked. Donovan dropped the pad. You're... How? You died. We buried you. You buried a lie, Aiden growled. Donovan backed away. Listen, I didn't know what command planned. You sent our location. You married my wife. Donovan's voice cracked. I did what I had to. She needed someone. We all moved on. Aiden took a step closer. You didn't move on. You took what wasn't yours. Aiden, please, don't hurt them. For a moment, silence. Then Aiden said quietly, I'm not here for her, or the boy, I'm here for you. Suddenly blast doors crashed open. Command troops stormed in. Target acquired. Open fire. Aiden turned, eyes glowing. Bullets flew. He moved faster. 2 soldiers dropped. Another thrown through a wall. One scream. Then silence. He turned back, but Donovan was gone. Coward. Aiden whispered. He vanished again, into the night. A new threat revealed back at his hidden base beneath the city. Aiden connected to Earth's black archives. He found something worse than betrayal. A new program hidden deep. In military servers, codename, Project EXO-Deuce Prototype Super Soldiers. Made from recovered Varlock tech, controlled by neural chips. No memory, no will. But one file showed a secret detail, based on Reyes rebuild, first success, Uniform X. All others... unstable. Aiden froze. They weren't just afraid of him. They were trying to copy him. They want more like me. Without a soul. They're creating monsters. The rise of the others far away, in a hidden lab. 5 pods opened. From the mist stepped 5 ESO units. Taller than Aiden, more weapon than man. Mission: locate and eliminate Uniform X. Target identified, Aden Reyes, prime sample. Their eyes glowed red. The hunt had begun. Showdown in the slums later that night. Aden returned to the city edge where ruins met the towers. There he waited. Then. He heard them. Heavy steps. Metallic breathing, cloaked shapes. We have found you, one EXO said. I'm not hiding, Aiden replied. They attacked. One moved like lightning, plasma blade drawn. Aiden ducked, countered, his blade sparking. Against armor. Another fired a beam. Aiden dodged and launched a pulse mine. Explosion. Dust. Heat. But they kept coming. They weren't like him. They were cold. Empty. Programmed. He was angry. Focused. Human. And that made the difference. He disabled. 2. Crippled another. The last stepped forward, chest open with a core bomb. If I fall... you fall with me. It exploded. Silence after the storm. The area burned. Buildings collapsed. Fires roared. But from the smoke. Aden walked out, damaged. Armor cracked. But alive. He looked up at the sky, rain washing blood and ash from his faceplate. They built them to replace me, he muttered. But they forgot. I remember. Final scene. Broadcast number 2 once again. Every screen on Earth flashed with his face. Aden, scarred and powerful, stared into the camera. They built monsters. I fought them. I survived. I am not one of them. I am not a weapon. I am justice. He paused. The people deserve the truth. I will give it to them. Every lie, every deal, every betrayal. This isn't revenge anymore. This is reckoning. The sky over New Geneva burned red. Smoke rose where the exo units had fallen. Sirens howled through the ruins. But deep below the surface, something worse was waking up. Aiden Reyes had survived the first wave. But he knew this was just the beginning. They won't stop, he said quietly. Not until I'm erased. The AI inside him responded. Exo units were only Phase 1. Phase 2 has already begun. Aiden turned toward the city skyline. Then I'll stop it ... before it spreads. Project Exodus, Phase 2 in a black site known as Core Vault. 5 generals watched live feeds. They weren't shocked Aiden had survived. They were studying him. Look at his reaction time. He's evolving. We need to finish Phase 2 now. Release Subject 0. You want to unleash that? It's not stable. The lead scientist entered, eyes wide with fear ... and pride. He's not just stable now, he's hungry. Subject 0 had once been human, but his brain had been fused with 3 alien war species. His bones replaced with liquid titanium. His heart powered by a dark energy core stolen from the VRNOK. He had no name. No memory. Only rage. When they opened his cage, he didn't speak. He simply moved. The walls shook as he walked out 8 feet tall, armor fused to flesh. His eyes glowed green, not red. His voice was more like a growl than speech. Uniform X. I will break him. Earth watches in fear across the world. News of Aiden's return had spread like fire. Some feared him. Some praised him. He exposed the lies. He killed our soldiers. He's one of us. He's not even human. In the slums, people painted his symbol. A broken helmet over fire. In military cities, his face was marked. Wanted. Extreme THL-8, but in hidden channels, rebels whispered, maybe he's not a threat. Maybe he's our last hope. Meanwhile, Aiden plans inside an abandoned metro system. Aiden studied the maps. He had learned about Vault 12. That's where they built the exo units. That's where Phase 2 would begin. He knew what he had to do, shut it down. But this time, he wasn't alone. A new ally, Kadia's soft clinking, echoed through the tunnel. A small drone hovered close, silver, cracked and sparking. Identify, Aiden said, aiming his weapon. The drones. Voice was glitchy but clear. My name is Cade. I escaped from Vault 12. I saw what they did to you, what they're doing to others. You were the only one with memory. The others ... scream when they're born. I want to help. Aiden lowered his weapon slowly. Why? Because ... I was once like you. I was a pilot named Ellen Cade. Now, I'm just pieces. The drone turned and projected an image. A photo of a woman in uniform smiling, proud. Now gone, let's make them pay. Cade whispered. Vault 12, infiltration begins. Aiden and Cade reached the outer edge of the black site. He used his cloaking. Cade hacked the gates. They moved past drones, mechs, and cameras, completely invisible. But as they reached the inner chamber, a voice echoed through the walls. You came, Reyes. I was hoping you would. Aiden froze. Who are you? Then the shadows shifted, and Subject 0 stepped forward, a mirror of destruction. Aiden stared at him. This wasn't just another EXO. This thing was made to match him. Same frame, same strength. But twisted, burned, broken. You're me, Aiden muttered. No, 0 replied. I'm what they wanted you to be. A weapon with no soul. A monster who obeys. 0 charged. The ground cracked beneath his feet. Aiden dodged barely. The shockwave crushed the steel wall behind him. Cade, shut down power to the north wing. Cade buzzed into action. Aiden and 0 clashed, fist to fist, blade to blade. They were equal in speed, equal in power, but not in purpose. A battle of will. 0 launched a brutal punch. Aiden blocked with both arms. Metal cracked. Why fight me? 0 roared. You and I are the same. No, Aiden growled. You were built to follow. I was rebuilt to remember. Adine slammed a power cell into Zero's side. Electric surge, Zero screamed, but recovered fast. I don't feel pain, Zero whispered. That's your weakness. No, Aiden replied. That's what makes me human. He pulled a plasma knife from his back and stabbed through Zero's chest. The core inside hissed ... Then cracked. Zero's eyes widened. I was supposed to win. You were supposed to obey, Adine said. But they forgot. I don't obey anymore. The fall of Vault 12 KAD, he had finished the override. The base's systems began to melt down. Aiden picked up Zero's broken body. You were made to be like me. You never had a choice. He left him there silent in the flames. Outside, explosions ripped through the ground. Vault 12 collapsed into itself. A message to the world, round 3, back in the metro. Adine spoke again. Cade boosted the signal. Every citizen, every soldier, every rebel saw his face. They created monsters in your name. They took the dead and made weapons. I shut one down. But there are more. You want peace? Then help me destroy what they hide. This is your planet, not theirs. This is not a war between soldier and command. It's a war between truth and control. Earth starts to divide. His message spread like wildfire. Protests began in city cores. Soldiers refused orders. Young cadets erased their enlistment chips. Rebels lit up rooftops with Aidens. Symbol. A storm was coming, and at its center was the man they once called dead. Earth Command was burning, not by fire, but from the inside. Protests filled the streets. Soldiers were quitting. Young people were rising with signs of a broken helmet and a single name. Ayan Reyes, the man they once called dead, had become the symbol of truth. Inside Earth Command, Panic Room 07, General Carver stood in silence, watching the riots on a dozen screens. We gave them peace, he muttered. We gave them control, and now they follow a ghost. One officer turned toward him. Sir, cities in Sector 9 and 12 have declared independence. They're refusing orders. Another spoke. 3 EXO units are missing. We believe they've joined Reyes. Carver's face twisted with rage. Activate it, he said. Activate Omega Protocol. What is Omega Protocol? Deep below Earth's surface, in Vault 0, an ancient weapon had been sleeping. Something from the first alien war. Something Earth was never meant to use again. It was called the Omega Core. A living machine. Half organic, half AI. It could take control of any system, any network, even a human brain with implants. Once active, it could silence everything. The plan? Erase rebels, erase EXOs, erase Adine, even if it meant killing millions. Adine on the move meanwhile. Adine and Cade were moving fast. They were headed to Core Central, the heart of Earth Command's data vault. Cade had found something. They've activated Omega Protocol. If it completes the link, it can control every cyberhuman on Earth, including you. Then we destroy it, Aiden replied. They entered the outer ring of the capital, burning vehicles, broken roads, soldiers refusing to fight, but above them, black drones swarmed the skies. The Omega Core had started its takeover. Elena sees the truth. In a quiet shelter far from the capital, Elena held her son close. A message played over and over on the cracked screen. I am Aiden Reyes. I was left for dead. Now I fight for the living. She stared at his face, older, harder, but still him. Her hand shook. Major Donovan entered the room. Elena, we need to leave. You lied to me, she said softly. You said he died. In silence. But he died fighting. You said he was a traitor. But he was betrayed. Donovan didn't reply, because deep down, he knew she was right. Storming the core at midnight, Aiden reached Core Central. He was not alone. Hundreds of rebels former. Soldiers, engineers, and civilians followed him. They weren't afraid anymore. Cade hovered beside him, sending signals to shut down defenses. Explosions rocked the outer gates. Laser fire cut the sky. "Cade, buy me 3 minutes," Aiden said. "You got 2. Cade replied. Inside, walls shimmered with light. The Omega Core had awakened. "You are the virus," a voice boomed from the walls. "You are the error." "I'm not the virus," Aiden growled. "I'm the cure." He ran straight into the light. Inside the Omega Core, the core wasn't just a machine. It was alive. It created illusions, voices, ghosts. Suddenly, Aiden saw Echo Squad around him. They were laughing, smiling, alive. He froze. "Aiden, we missed you," said Captain Vale. "Come home." But it wasn't real. "You're not them," Aiden whispered. The illusion cracked. Then came his younger self, before the armor, before the war. You could rest, all the pain would end. Aiden clenched his fists. "I'm not done yet. You can't win alone." He looked up. "I'm not alone." Cade burst through the system, blasting the illusion apart. "Come on, soldier," Cade said. "Let's finish this." The final strike. They reached the core's heart, a spinning orb of light and wires. "Warning, link to global network 85% complete." Aiden pulled out a plasma spike. "We blow it before it finishes." Suddenly, the core created one final defense, a clone of Aiden himself. Same armor, same strength. It moved first faster than anything he'd seen. Blades clashed. Sparks flew, but this time, Aiden had more than strength. He had pain. He had memory. He had a reason. "You're just data," he whispered. "I'm the man who came back." With one last move, he stabbed the spike through the clone and into the core. A surge of white light exploded. Cade screamed, "Aiden, get out!" Explosion. Core Central shook. The building began to collapse. Rebels outside ran as fire burst from underground. Drones crashed from the sky. Command servers went dark. Exo units shut down across the globe. Morning after Aiden lay buried in rubble. He opened his eyes slowly. Light broke through the cracks. Cade's voice buzzed faintly. "Status ... 67% functional, but you're alive." "I always am," Aiden whispered. He stood bruised, broken, but alive. Earth Command falls with Omega Core destroyed. Earth Command's grip shattered. General Carver was arrested by his own men. New leadership rose by the people, for the people. And across the planet, one name was spoken with respect. Aiden Reyes, the man who died and came back to save us. Final scene, Elena and Aiden 1 week later. In a quiet garden outside the city, Aiden stood alone. Footsteps approached. It was Elena. She didn't speak. She just walked up and hugged him, tears in her eyes. He froze for a second, then hugged her back. "I thought I lost you," she whispered. "You did," he said softly, "but I found myself again." She stepped back and looked at him. "What now?" He looked up at the sky. "Now, we rebuild." 6 months had passed. The world was healing, cities rebuilt, soldiers returned home. Command was replaced with civilian leaders. And people spoke one name with hope, Aiden Reyes, the soldier who died and came back as a symbol of change. But peace never lasts, because far beyond Earth, something was watching. Signal from deep space in the old military observatory. A faint signal was picked up. Code ZK473 translation. "We're coming." At first, no one noticed. Just background noise. Static. Until the second transmission arrived. He survived. "Prepare the swarm." The scientists froze. They traced the source. Not from Earth, not even from this solar system. It came from Sector K9, where Earth Command had once fought their greatest enemy, the Varnuk, The Varnock War. Flashback, 17 years ago, Earth. Fought the Varnock, a species of pure destruction. They didn't want land. They didn't want peace. They wanted extinction. The war ended when Earth nuked their final planet -VAR, at least. That's what Command had said, but Eden had seen something different. On his last mission, before he died, he had seen a living Varnock child taken away by Command scientists. He was told to forget, but now, the signal confirmed the truth. The Varnock never died. They were waiting. And now, they're coming back. Cade discovers a secret back in the underground safe house. Cade was scanning the skies. He glitched for a moment, then buzzed in panic. Eden, there's something in orbit, not human. It wasn't there. Yesterday, Eden looked up at the map. A faint red blip hovered just beyond the moon. It's cloaked, Cade had said. Varnock tech. They're listening. Eden clenched his jaw. They know I'm still alive, I think. They always did. The man in the black mask late that night. A figure entered the safe house without setting off any alarms. Eden turned, weapon ready. Who are you? The man removed his black mask. His face was scarred, half human, half something else. My name was Darren once. Now I'm called the Hybrid. I worked for Command. I was part of Project Merge. They used Varnock DNA on prisoners, on soldiers, on me. Eden stared. You're saying they were making human Varnock hybrids? Yes, Darren said. And you weren't the first, or the last. They lead to you again. You weren't made to fight back. You were made to survive the next invasion. The memory file. Darren handed Eden a chip. It's a memory file from VAR 3, the real footage. What Earth Command covered up. Eden plugged it in. The screen showed a lab military scientist surrounding a Varnock queen, weak and dying. A young soldier approached. Is it over? He asked. One general laughed. Over? This is just the start. Let them think we won. In 20 years, they'll beg us to save them again. Then the footage cut to black. That's the truth, Darren said. Earth Command didn't kill the Varnock. They woke them. Earth in denial. Eden sent the footage to the new civilian leaders, but they refused to act. We don't want panic. We have no proof this isn't fake. The war ended years ago. Eden punched the table. They're already here. Cade hovered closer. They don't believe. Because they can't imagine another war. Then we show them, Eden said. We find proof. The wreckage. Darren gave them coordinates. An old satellite crash site in the desert. It had been hidden for years. Inside they found pieces of Varnock armor, still pulsing with bioenergy, and next to it, a human exosuit with a broken helmet. Cade scanned the suit. This belonged to General Vale, from Echo Squad. He didn't die on VAR 3. He was taken. Suddenly, a low growl echoed from the shadows. Something moved. Eden raised his weapon. From the dark, a creature stepped forward, twisted, armored, half human, half Varnock. Its face was covered in armor, but one eye showed, and Eden recognized it. Vale, he whispered. The creature let out a scream, part machine, part animal, and charged. A battle with the past. Eden dodged. Vale's speed was inhuman. He attacked with claws and plasma bursts. Eden fired back, but his hits only slowed the creature. They turned him, Darren said. Fully merged, no mind left. Eden hesitated. I can't kill him, Cade buzzed. Then he'll kill you. With a final move, Eden used a shock pulse to paralyze Vale for a moment, just long enough to pull a core drive from his back. Vale fell, twitching, then still. I'll bury him, Eden said. He was more than a soldier. He was my brother. The signal gets stronger. That night, the skies turned red. A massive energy spike hit the satellites. Cade's system sparked. They're here. The orbiting ship uncloaked for the first time, and it was massive. over 20 kilometers long, covered in bone metal plating, and pulsing with red energy veins. This is not an invasion ship, Cade said. It's a hive mother. Then the real war is just beginning, Aiden whispered. KADE's plan. We need to board that ship, Cade said. If we can shut down its control center, we stop the invasion before it starts. We'll need a team, Aiden replied. Darren nodded. I know where the others are. Soldiers who were experimented on, but escaped. They're like me. Not fully human, not fully Varnak. But they want revenge. Final scene. The call to arms. Aiden activated his signal. A new message went out to Earth. This is Aiden Reyes. You thought the war was over. But we were lied to. The enemy we thought we killed is alive, and they're coming for us. If you can fight, find me. If you can build, prepare. If you can run, don't. Because this time, there's nowhere left to run. The sky over Earth turned red. The hive ship now hovered just beyond the moon. Silent but watching. No one could stop it. No nation dared to fire. Because anyone who tried. Vanished. Its belly. The Varnak Queen was waking. And her army was ready to finish what they started 17 years ago. Adan's new team in an underground hangar. Adan prepared for the mission. Cade scanned the ship layout. Stolen from Varnak Tech. Beside Aiden stood his new team, Darren. The hybrid, scarred by command experiments. Scylla, a pilot with artificial Varnak eyes. Reef, part human, part shadow tech, could disappear for 6 seconds. Ghost, a silent girl with knives instead of words. And one face. Aida never. EXPECT, Elena. She stood in a black combat suit, her hair cut short, her eyes filled with fire. I couldn't stay back, she said. They took too much from us. From you, from me, Aden nodded. Then let's take it back. Infiltration begins. Their stolen Varnak ship lifted into the night sky. Powered by hybrid cores, it looked like one of theirs, just enough to slip past sensors. As they neared the hive ship, Cade spoke. We have 4 minutes before they realize we don't belong. They reached a weak spot in the hull, a docking point for drone pods. Aiden cut through the door. Inside, the hive pulsed, black walls, living floors, the sound of breathing metal. Stay quiet, he whispered. The breeding chambers. As they moved deeper, they reached a horrifying room. Rows of human bodies were hanging, alive, sleeping, inside cocoons. Cade scanned one. These are civilians, some are children. They're not killing them. Scylla whispered. They're growing something inside. Darren turned pale. Hosts, the Varnak don't birth new soldiers anymore. They grow them inside us. Aeden's fists tightened. We're shutting this down. A shocking discovery. In one chamber, they found a room filled with memory pods, each pod containing a recorded brain. Cade accessed one. This is Reyes, but not you. On screen appeared a clone of Aiden. Laughing, smiling, holding a baby. Elena gasped. That's me and our son. These are simulations, Cade said. The Varnak were studying human emotion, trying to understand love, fear, loyalty. They're not just invading. They want to become us. Trap, suddenly. Alarms screamed. They know we're here. Cade shouted. From the walls, Varnak sentinels burst out, tall armored beasts with no eyes, just mouths full of teeth. The team split. Reef turned invisible, slicing one from behind. Scylla fired plasma bolts, blinding 3. Ghost moved like smoke, cutting throats silently, but there were too many. Elena and Aiden ran toward the core room. We blow the central hive control, and the whole ship drops, Aiden said. Cade buzzed. Nervously, we have a bigger problem. One of us is transmitting our location. The betrayal. Aiden turned, gun raised. Everyone froze. Who's leaking signals? Scylla looked confused. Ghost said nothing. Elena stepped forward. It's not me. Aiden looked at Darren. He was calm. Too calm. You were captured once, Aiden said slowly. Maybe you never escaped. Darren smiled. I never said I did. He raised a pulse detonator and activated it. A wall exploded, and Varnock guards poured in. Darren turned to Eden. You weren't made to fight them. You were made to lead them. You're not their enemy, Aiden. You're their future. Fight among friends. The chamber erupted in chaos. Elena tackled Darren. Ghost threw a knife that barely missed his eye. Cade disabled the door with an overload spark. Aiden and Darren fought hand to hand. You think you're human? Darren spat. You were built in a lab, just like me. Aiden growled. Then I choose what I become. He slammed Darren into the hive wall and fired. One shot. Clean. The traitor dropped. The core room. They reached the hive's brain, a glowing, massive orb filled with neural threads. It looked alive. Cade linked to it, overriding its defense. Layer. We have 30 seconds before it locks again. Adine placed the charges. Ghost set the timers. Then a sound behind them. From the shadows. The Varnock Queen appeared. 10 feet tall. Skin like bone and oil. Eyes like galaxies. She spoke, not with a voice, but directly into their minds. You kill what you fear, but what you fear is yourself. Elena collapsed from the pressure. Aiden stepped forward. We're not afraid anymore. The Queen lunged. Final battle. The fight was brutal. Ghost was wounded. Reef was grabbed by a hive tendril and thrown. Sila's arm was torn, but she kept firing. Aiden faced the Queen alone. He used everything. Pulse Fist's energy blade, a borrowed grenade from Ghost, but nothing stopped her. Until Cade said, she's wired into the core. You hurt the hive, you hurt her. Aiden looked at the timer. 5 seconds. He grabbed Elena and ran. The Queen screamed. The core exploded. The hive falls. The entire hive ship shook. Varnock creatures collapsed. The walls began melting. Own ship, parked outside, activated escape mode. Cade screamed, run, now! They flew out just as the hive ship imploded behind them, sending a shockwave across orbit. Crash landing. They crash landed in the desert. Sila survived. Reef was unconscious but breathing. Ghost had 3 wounds. And a quiet smile. Aiden helped Elena from the wreck. She looked at him. We stopped them? Cade hovered close. This ship, yes, but there are others. Aiden looked at the sky. Then we keep fighting. The hive ship was destroyed. But Earth was not safe. Katha's warning echoed in Aiden's mind. This was one ship. The real swarm ... is still coming. And then on the edge of space they came. The arrival 10, 20, 100 Varnock ships appeared near Mars. Each one larger than the last. Planet-sized. Covered in armor. Pulsing with red-black energy. Earth satellites blinked out. The sky cracked. Earth's response. World leaders gathered in panic. Military officers screamed for war. Others begged for surrender. And in the middle of it all stood Aiden Riaz. He was no longer just a soldier. No longer fully human, but he was the one they trusted. We fight, he said. But not like last time. This time we fight smart. Preparing Earth in 72 hours. The world changed. Old exo units were reactivated. Hybrid soldiers like Sila and Ghost trained volunteers. Civilian tech labs. Fused alien power cores with human weapons. Children were hidden. Cities turned into bunkers. And above them all, CAD helped build a new defense grid. The sky wall. Not perfect, but it might hold. We have 6 days, CAD warned. Then the swarm arrives. A message from the enemy on the 4th day. Earth's communication systems went dark. Then a voice echoed across every screen. It was the Varnock Queen. You destroy what you do not understand. We offered rebirth. You chose death. She paused. Surrender. Give us the one called Aiden Riaz, or we end you. Ajidan struggled alone in a chamber. Aiden stared at his hands. His veins glowed faint blue. His reflexes were faster. His wounds healed in seconds. He was changing. Cade hovered. Near him. Your DNA is now 42% Varnuk. I don't feel like myself anymore, Ayan said quietly. You're more than what you were made from, Cade replied. You're still you, because you choose to be. Elena's goodbye that night. Elena came to him. They sat on the bunker roof, watching the stars. If you die tomorrow. She began. I won't, he said. Then promise me something, she whispered. If this ends, find peace. Not more war. He didn't answer, because deep down, he wasn't sure peace was possible for someone like him. The final war begins day. 6. The sky lit up like fire. The Varnok fleet broke through Mars' orbit and surrounded Earth. Skywall opened fire. Lasers, drones, missiles it slowed them. But didn't stop them. They landed in oceans, deserts, cities. The Earth shook. The war of extinction had begun. Ground Combat Eden led a strike team into New Geneva, where a Varnok war tower had landed. His team, Ghost, Fast and Deadly. Reef, back from recovery. Elena, now in combat gear. Katie, linked into every weapon. They moved like a machine. For every soldier who fell, 10 Varnok dropped. But more kept coming. Cade buzzed. They're not sending waves, they're sending everything. Aidan looked up. A new ship entered the atmosphere. Twice the size of the last hive. That's the Queen, he whispered. She's come to finish it herself. The Queen's true plan. While cities burned and oceans boiled, Aiden and his team reached the final landing ship. Inside, they didn't find soldiers, they found eggs. Thousands. She's not just here to kill us, Elena whispered. She's here to replace us. Cade scanned. This is a world seed. It's turning Earth into a new Varnok homeworld. Then we destroy it, Aiden said. But as they placed charges, the Queen appeared, and this time she brought something new. Aiden Reyes, she spoke into his mind. You are one of us now. Join me. End their suffering. I'll never be like you. You already are. Final battle. Man versus Queen. Aiden ordered the others to go. You can't fight her alone. Elena shouted. I'm not, he said. Cade's with me. Cade linked directly into Aiden's spine. His suit glowed. Hybrid tech activated. Aiden became something else. Faster, stronger, silent as the stars they fought. Each punch cracked metal. Each scream echoed across the Earth. The Queen stabbed Eden through the side, but he pulled her forward and detonated his plasma core. The ship shook. You'll die too, Cad warned. I know, Aiden said. The sacrifice with his last strength. Aiden pushed the Queen into the world seed core. He looked up at Earth's blue sky and smiled. Then the charges exploded. 1 year later, Earth survived. Barely. The Varnok were gone. The eggs destroyed. The Queen was dead, but so was Aiden Reyes, or so they thought. The man in the desert. 1 year later, a traveler walking the ruins found something. A broken helmet. A cracked exosuit. And footsteps. Human, but glowing faint blue. Cods's voice crackled in a forgotten radio. If you're hearing this, then Aiden is alive. And in the distance, a man walked toward the sunrise, wearing a worn-out, dusty uniform, the uniform of destruction, but his eyes were calm, and behind him, there was no war. Only peace.